What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and this is Ibeabuchi's full breakdown. The president, as they call him, was fierce with talent and corrupted with demons. He was feared, he was powerful, and he was relentless. But the rise and fall of Ibeabuchi all came from his mental state. Ike had demons, and those demons reared their ugly head one too many. Let's start from the beginning with Ibeabuchi. Ike planned on joining the Nigerian military before he witnessed Buster Douglas knock out Mike Tyson in 1990. Inspired by the fight, Ike started boxing as an amateur. Ike twice defeated countryman and eventually 1996 Olympian bronze medalist Duncan Dokirari. Ibeabuchi immigrated to the United States and moved to Dallas with his mother in 1993. Ibeabuchi won the Dallas and Texas State Golden Gloves tournament at heavyweight in 1994. Under the guidance of world welterweight champion Curtis Coates, Ike made his professional debut at the heavyweight division with a second-round knockout of Ismael Garcia on October 13th, 1994. He was later remembered and loved by his war with David Tua. After winning 16 straight fights from the start of his career, Ike made a big jump in competition and fought the undisputed prospect David Tua for the WBC International Heavyweight title on June 7th, 1997. Tua was 27-0 and was considered, as many, to be the next Mike Tyson. Both boxers threw bombs and neither took a backward step all night. Ibeabuchi and Tua set a CompuStat heavyweight division record of 1,730 punches thrown. Ike also set an individual CompuStat record by throwing 975 punches and an average of 81 per round. The heavyweight average is around 50. Ibeabuchi won a unanimous 12-round decision over Tua with scores of 117, 111, 116 to 113, and 115 to 114. The fight established Ibeabuchi as the top contender for the world heavyweight title. But the demons rose their head. A couple months after the Tua fight, Ibeabuchi abducted the 15-year-old son of his former girlfriend and slammed his car into a concrete pillar on Interstate 35 north of Austin, Texas. According to the criminal complaint, the boy suffered numerous injuries from the accident and will never walk normally again. The courts concluded Ibeabuchi was trying to commit suicide, and he was sentenced to 120 days in jail after pleading guilty to false imprisonment. Ibeabuchi also paid an additional $500,000 in a civil suit. Ibeabuchi developed a new persona based on his nickname, the President. At times when he was being churlish or refusing to complete a simple requirement such as attending a weigh-in, his handlers would appeal to the president's legal nature by convincing him it was the noble thing to do. There were times when he thought that he was really a president. Boxing promoter and former HBO sports executive Lou DiBella said he would get into these mental states where he would insist on people calling him the president. It was his alter ego, where I am the president, not of the United States, but maybe president of the world. Once Ibeabuchi wielded a knife during a dinner table meeting in New York to discuss a possible 3-fight HBO deal. We were having a fine meal at a nice restaurant, promoter Cedric Kushner said, and mid-course Ike picked up a big carving knife, slammed it into the table, and screamed, "They knew it! They knew it! The belt belonged to me. Why don't they just give them back?" That was a peculiar experience, Kushner said. That wasn't that type of conduct I expected to romance the guy from HBO. Ibeabuchi, was like a Viking. Ibeabuchi did come back after those two incidents and returned to the ring after 13 months of inactivity, scoring a first-round knockout over Tim Ray in July of 1998. 2 months later, he stopped Everton Davis in 9 rounds. Ibeabuchi's next fight was against Chris Bird in March of 1999. Bird, a 1992 Olympic silver medalist and a future world heavyweight champion, was a quick and slick southpaw with a record of 26-0. After 4 rounds, the judges had the fight scored evenly, 38-38 even, 39-37 for Ibeabuchi, and 39-37 for Bird. In the 5th round, Ibeabuchi landed a devastating left uppercut, which sent Bird to the canvas. Bird made it back to his feet, but he was quickly knocked back down. Bird once again rose, but he was trapped against the ropes and was taking punishment as the referee waved it off at the 2-minute and 59-second mark. Following the win over Bird, Ibeabuchi turned down $700,000 to fight French contender Jeremy Williams, and he also turned down $1 million for a showdown with undefeated Michael Grant. Wow. In 1999, Ibeabuchi was staying at a Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas when he phoned a local escort service and had a woman sent to his room. The 21-year-old woman said later she was there to strip and nothing else. She claimed Ibeabuchi attacked her in her walk-in closet. After she demanded to be paid up front, Ibeabuchi barricaded himself in the bathroom, and police discarded pepper spray under the door until he surrendered. Ibeabuchi's legal defense faced the further difficulty of the Clark County DA's reopening of a similar sexual assault allegation against him from 8 months earlier, which took place at Treasure Island Hotel and Casino. Ibeabuchi was released on bail and placed under house arrest, able to train and fight until his trial. He was remanded after 2 more similar allegations surfaced from Arizona. Ibeabuchi was deemed incompetent to stand trial and was sent to a state facility. Medical experts concluded he exhibited bipolar disorder, and a judge granted permission to force medicate him. 8 months later, 2.5 years after his arrest, he was ruled cogent enough to plead. Ibeabuchi subsequently entered a Alford plea, pleading guilty while not admitting guilt to avoid going to trial. Ibeabuchi was sentenced to 2 to 10 years for battery with intent to commit a crime, from which he was later paroled, and 3 to 20 years for attempting sexual assault, with the sentences to be served consecutively. While incarcerated, Ibeabuchi earned 3 college associate degrees from Western Nevada College, General Studies, Business, and Management. He also earned a paralegal certificate by the correspondence from Blackstone Center Institute in Allentown, Pennsylvania. His Las Vegas conviction was overturned by a Nevada State Supreme Court in 2007, and he expected to be released. But the lower courts abandoned the ruling. The Nevada Supreme Court subsequently affirmed his earlier ruling of its overturning of Ibeabuchi's Las Vegas conviction again. Ibeabuchi's Nevada conviction was eventually overturned, vacated, and discharged. Now, he is released and planned to come back to boxing. Ibeabuchi completed his sentence in the Nevada Department of Corrections prior to this. And he promises a comeback, but it's been a long time coming after his legal issues. I'm assuming that he's got his inner demons in check, but that's not determined, because what's not determined is how did he get those particular injuries? Was it because of boxing itself, or was it way before? We know he had some problems before boxing, but could boxing further damaged his neuro abilities and increased the problems mentally that he had? That's the question. Now, will he have the same type of reflexes as we seen in the late 90s and early 2000s? More than likely not. And my final counterpunch on Ibeabuchi: he was once a monster. He was that favorite fighter's favorite fighter. But could he come back at 50 years old to remuster some of it? More than likely he can. But at what platform? Against what opponent? I suggest that Ibeabuchi maybe fight someone in his own age bracket. That would only be the most fairest assessment if he still wanted to compete, because some things that you do want to express that has been repressed in his life due to prison time, mental illness, inner demons, etc., etc. So if he's going to do it, I suggest Shannon the Cannon, maybe Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, or anyone in that age bracket. But with a perfect record of 20-0, 15 by knockout, beating some of the legends in the sport of boxing, I think Ibeabuchi's legacy will always be unlived, remembered, and indeed feared. But you guys tell me what you think of the story of Ibeabuchi thus far. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.